recording too frequently. Nice. Here we go.
All right, everyone. Uh, Thanks for joining. Today is a very special day. It's a day of freedom, and I'll just cut to the chase. My name is Daniele. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Toolhouse, and with me, Orlando, CTO and co-founder.
Hey, everyone. Glad to be here. We're doing this pretty regularly now, so this is awesome to be streaming with some guests today,
Yes,
which we're going to introduce in just a minute.
yes.
So why is freedom? What's freedom today? Do you want to give an intro?
Absolutely. So today we are freeing people from the only one choice they had up until today in Toolhouse, which was basically was using everybody was using the only same model that we will make available to everybody. Today we are announcing the ability to bring your own model, which means that now you have a choice. You can choose either to stick with the model we've been using so far, or to just bring whatever provider you want. And we started with obviously the incumbents, Anthropic and OpenAI, but we also are bringing Groq to the table. And this means that you can have like reasoning models, mainstream models, but you can also have very fast inference. And that's extremely useful for when you need your agents to be responding pretty quickly, for example, for user-facing use cases. And for that, that's really the right cue to introduce Yang Zhang from Groq. Here it is. Thanks for taking part to the lunch. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Nice.
Glad to be here.
Yes. So we just mentioned Groq, so he came at the right time. I'll tell you why this is important for everybody. There are a few reasons why you want to bring your model. First of all, when speed matters a ton, and again, that's something you can't get pretty much elsewhere. The mainstream providers can give you some, but they can give you like the speed that Groq has, and that's why we're super excited to partner with Groq specifically for this launch, for them to be our main launch partners for when it comes to fast inference. So you'll find Groq models front and center, and we test this out pretty nicely. And like speed is addictive. Like once you go on a racetrack and you do 100 miles an hour plus, it's really it's really tough to go back to your Toyota and just like slowly run.
Yeah.
Drive.
There's reliability and speed are really important. Like when you go to a hackathon, you have certain use cases that you really need that speed of inference. Yeah. I remember one hackathon when a couple of months ago with Groq, we built a snake game that was controlled by voice, and so you would like basically parse the voice, send it to Groq, and then Groq would say, "Oh, you said this thing," and then it would come back to the computer and it would move the snake. So you could control it to go and eat the apple on the game, and you had to shout like Groq, or you had to shout like Meta Groq, and it would turn left, or right. It was a very fun hack, and that was only possible because of the speed that we were achieving with the hundreds of tokens per second that you can do with Groq. So that was a very good fun hackathon project that we built.
So that's amazing. Again, like why this matters a ton. It's also because usually when you have basic models or our stock model doesn't do a ton of reasoning. Instead, you can now bring models that can do that as well. Like DeepSeek, for example, is pretty good at doing that. And I think you have a great opportunity to have agents that might reason a little more. Usually, the reasoning agents take a little while to give you the answer, but when you use like fast inference, then you have a ton of like speed, and so you basically have reasoning for the speed of your normal run of the mill model, which is amazing.
But I also think that Groq released like some new models pretty recently, right? With really advanced reasoning. Jan, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we just actually, just yesterday we released Quen32B, and it's
Awesome.
Nice.
very, very good at reasoning. It's very good at function calling, and I can't wait to see what you can do with it. It also writes code very well. So
Yeah.
a lot of people have been using Quen to write code and replace Quen in cursor, like use Quen in cursor, for example, instead of the standard tools like
Right.
Pod.
Yeah.
And this speed changes the UX of how you use cursor completely. And I think that has a lot of implications on like how people just code and how people think about like how the like it changes the relationship people have with AI just because of the speed.
That's completely right. I feel exactly like that. Like, for example, we all know that coding is one of the main use cases for AI these days. But I found myself like going before Quen was released. I was like a Llama first Llama 3.3, and now I just go Llama 4. Scout is good enough, I want to say. But why do I choose Llama 4? It's kind of speed. Like, it's addictive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I think Groq also released their own models, right? Like Compound. I think we're going to talk about it in a minute.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have some use cases I want to showcase today about that.
Nice.
So yeah,
I'd love to see it. Yeah. So for you guys who don't know, Compound is not a model, but it's an agentic service. So it's an API call that works just like our model calls, except in the back, it figures out if you need real-time information or not from the internet. So, for example, I'll use Compound to look up hockey scores because the Oilers are playing and I want to know how they're doing or when they're playing. So I'll be using Compound to search for that. And also, Compound runs code. So if you're looking for things like how are the top semiconductor companies doing, you can actually have Compound write code to generate like Python for a graph, and you can get a graph back. So there's so many opportunities, so many new use cases that Compound unlocks.
yeah.
So it's an API that understands your intent and then uses tools in addition with a model, correct?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So right now we just have search and code execution.
Can users expect some other functionalities out of the box? Like, is there a plan to add more, or?
The plan right now is to make it faster, and so
Okay.
we think that code execution and search are like two of the connect with those two connected. I think there's a lot of opportunity that they can unlock already. So we're not looking to turn Compound into something like Groq House. Or sorry, into like a tool house to make it like a Groq House.
Groq House.
Okay.
We still rely on you guys, for example, to do like the MCP server. Like, here's a tool chest of what you want. For us, it's just like, okay, let's make search like very easy to
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome.
Yeah, and so thinking about Groq House, Toolhouse, in this case, you had a chance to test out the functionality before today. Obviously, we worked quite closely together. So yeah, thanks for that. What was your initial reaction? Like, you had plenty of feedback for us, plenty of very good things that made my day, made my week even. So I don't know, like, what was the thing that stood out for you in your overall experience, like building with Groq and Toolhouse?
I love. So I'll be honest, I had not really been using Toolhouse before meeting you. It was always something on my mind, and the problem I usually have with most tools that are out there, just like a lot of the dev tools that are out there, is like how hard they are to get started. And so I just kind of, before I even looked at Toolhouse, I just thought, like, Toolhouse is probably going to be one of the other tools, and I don't want to spend an hour trying to figure out how to use this tool, right? So that's what scared me away, even before I started looking at it, to be honest. But then when I went into the documentation, it like literally took me like 2 minutes to get set up, and using the YAML files to create an agent is such a breeze, and it's so cool to see that you can create a YAML file to create an agent and then just convert that into an API call in 3 minutes. And then you can start using that as an API. I think that is such an unlock, because otherwise I have to think about, okay, great, I have an agentic flow that I built in Python or JavaScript, which anyone here can do. But then to deploy it is such a nightmare. Like you have to think about, okay, so I do it on Cloudflare Workers, do I do it on Vercel, do I like put on Dino, and like what are some other things I have to think about, like rate limiting to like permissions, like, and it goes from like, great, I can hack this together in 5 minutes, localhost, but then to deploy it, it probably takes like a day at least to figure that out. And for you guys, you just figured it out for me, so I can just build it on Toolhouse and just get an API.
Exactly. Like that's the hardest problem, and you're not alone in thinking that. So so much so that actually I had 20 minutes before this this live stream, and I wanted to build something like quite impressive. Because one of the things is also like once you try and deploy your workflow, you also need to define the workflow, and you usually go to frameworks to do that. I actually want to demonstrate that you can just jot together just a few lines of JavaScript and do parallel agent execution, and then feed that to another agent that gets all the inputs from the first parallel agent execution and gives you something. And so I'm going to just like share my screen, and feel free to just interject, maybe do like crazy stuff as well. But I wanted to start giving people like a sense of first of all how to use Groq models inside Toolhouse, how easy it is also to do that. And so we'll do a little bit of setup, and then we'll jump into the use case. And the use case is about like using I'm using Compound, and I think Llama or Quen. I don't remember what I used, but we'll see it in a moment. So let me share my entire screen right now.
All right, let's jump right into it. The demo time. This is what everybody's been waiting for. How do we actually use the Groq model inside, or Groq models you can pick inside of a YAML file or inside of the Toolhouse orchestration? So,
So let me just set up the stage here, because I have one single display today. There you go. Okay.
All right.
Entire screen, and I'm going to go wild. There we go.
Nice.
Just like remove everything. My God, so many windows. Look at that. That's a CEO display for sure. Remove this. Okay, we're ready. So first and foremost, all you had to do is to install.
Can you zoom the font a little bit so everybody can see? Perfect.
Done.
Awesome.
So first and foremost, install the CLI npm install -g Toolhouse AI/CLI. Okay, I already have it installed, so we're going to just use the CLI here. The first thing you need to do now is that we added one new command that's called secrets. So the first thing you have to do is basically to get an API key to the Groq website, copy it, and then do something like th secrets add. And we're going to use the standard m variable for Groq. So Groq API key equals your API key. Once you do that, you can get your API key done. It's already stored securely into our servers, and that's the first step you need, obviously.
And to get the API key, you get it from the Groq console, correct? The developer console.
Yes.
Console.groq.com.
Exactly, and it's free. It's free to start. Very generous fee.
And yeah, so no excuses.
Yeah.
Secrets also allows you to manage your secrets. So if I do th secrets ls, you're going to see all my secrets. I'm not going to do it because we're recording this stream and I don't want to rotate all my API keys. But you get the point. So once you do that, you have all you need. Super simple. Then the second part is we have an addition to our th file. And here I'm going to open my, call me old-fashioned, but it's VS Code. What I'm going to do is to show you also the use case and the YAML file. So we're going to build a news digest. I love just personalized news digest. And we're going to do it in a deep research kind of fashion, where we have research agents that search for product announcements for companies I care about. And they're doing it autonomously and in parallel. We're using Compound Beta for that. And then we're going to actually write the email and send it to my email. And with this, we're using Quen here, as
All
you can see.
right.
And so there are really two agents that we have to build out. The first is super simple. Look at this. So the first is the search agent that just uses obviously the search tool within Compound to search for a recent announcement for a company mentioned by the user. By default, if we wanted to run this agent autonomously, if I just call the API, it would default to OpenAI. But obviously, I can pass whatever message I want, so I can pass whatever company name.
And I think there's something beautiful as well. Like, you don't have to set up any additional API keys for searching the internet for tech digest, right? Like, Compound takes care of doing the search for you. And so I think they've partnered with another company, right?
Probably, yes.
Probably, yeah.
Tabily. And Tabily basically, they handle the API key authentication behind the scenes. You as a user never have to see it. As a developer, it's nice. You don't have to sign up to yet another service. You don't have to save your API key for Tabily in your computer somewhere, right? Or on the cloud.
Yep.
Exactly. And then right now, during this period, we're actually just eating the costs of running Tabily search. So have fun running as many searches as you want.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah. It's free to use the web search thanks to Groq.
You don't use, yeah.
Cost.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So this is it. I'll show you what the single th run is going to look like for this one. So th run compound search will yield you some results about OpenAI, right? So this is going to run. There you go. Super fast. Fantastic. So we have a little bit of tech rundown. So we basically need to do this like 5-6 times, each one changing the prompt for the company we want. So this is OpenAI, but can we do it for Groq, for Microsoft, for Apple, for Anthropic?
Right.
So let me show you how it's done. And I've done it using JavaScript. I'm not using any framework, actually. I'm just using Fetch here. So I have an array of companies here. And for each one, I'll just going to call the same agent, this one, with in a promise that, so with promise all settled, they all run in parallel. That's my framework today.
Wow, you built your own framework.
Yeah, that's it.
Time to raise some money, Daniele.
That's done. Yeah, I call it Fetch. And then the second one, once we have collected all the results from all the searches, we just create a blurb with everything and send it to the second agent, which is the roundup agent. And this is a little bit more sophisticated in the sense that not as sophisticated, to be honest, because like we just
there's more text, there's more prompting here you've done for sure.
But it's like three bullet points. So create the email. Obviously, the message here is just a sample message in case I wanted to test out the tech roundup agent. But I'm going to show you how to call the 2 and the 3 together and how fast there is. So what I have to do is to do node searches, and see, I already like spun up 5 different requests. So 5 different Toolhouse agents using Compound beta running in parallel.
Wow.
I think we're waiting for the Microsoft request here. There you go. This is all the content all together from all the agents. And now we're compiling the tech roundup and sending the email using Quen. So we're already onto the second agent. And the result is going to be something like this that I'll show you. I don't know if you can see. Oh, there you go. That's the email already sent out. And I'm just going to grab my Gmail here if I have it. Or can you see my camera actually?
Yeah.
We can see your camera, yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Great. Wow, so fast.
Nice. With all the announcement about all the companies we have here.
So you launched 5 agents which used the Groq Compound model, did the search through Tabily,
Yep.
returned the data back to another agent, and then that last agent was kind of like the orchestrator of the agents, and then used Toolhouse to send you an email.
That's right.
Like a Toolhouse MCP server that sends emails specifically.
Yep.
Because we needed that superpower, right, to connect all that data that has been like deep researched to an email sent out.
That's right.
And that took like what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds?
10 seconds.
That's pretty fast.
That's incredible. So I've never used the send email function before. If I wanted to put together like a daily AI newsletter, can I use send email to set that up?
Yeah,
That's right.
you can send email. Another thing you would do is actually you can have the same agent call this other agents from the agent itself. You know,
Nice.
so you could probably use a combination of uh, I don't know that we have so many tools that just call agents. So um, you can just like do it all in prompt if you wanted. But I wanted to show how like
Nice.
frameworks where when every agent is an API, there's no need now to just to use frameworks anymore.
Yeah, and I think with Compound, you said Jan, you said you have code execution as well,
Yep.
correct? So technically, you could create an agent that runs the code that Daniela just showed, that
Yeah.
calls 5 agents, and then those 5 agents, when they yield the information, then they call the final send email agent, and all of that could just be done on Groq,
Yeah,
ideally, right?
technically, yes. Yes, it can. I've never actually tried running API calls from our code execution tool. I actually don't know if they put any safeguards around that, but
Maybe
I would love to try that.
maybe for the next live stream we're going to
Yeah.
push the boundaries of what's possible with code execution on Groq,
Exactly.
if
Yeah,
you're up for it. Yeah,
Love it. And then the other thing is with Toolhouse, you can also schedule agent executions.
Hmm.
So you could have this daily or weekly roundup if you wanted, and
yeah,
that's
that's
yeah,
right.
and that's all out of the box. So for the same price of your Toolhouse.
And that's the power of Toolhouse, right? Like, we make it so that developers don't have to overthink. We give you all the small pieces that you are in need when you're building an agentic workflow or some sort of like orchestration. You just take the pieces that you need. So here we showed bringing your own model. We bring Groq. Then we've shown the ability to call a Toolhouse MCP server, the send email one, and then schedules, which is another feature that Toolhouse offers you, all for you developer, just to be able to do your work. You don't have to go and like think like, oh, there's 5 vendors. I'm going to find someone who does cron jobs and then find some. You just come to Toolhouse. It's all under one roof, right? Just to be in the, no pun intended, I guess. I mean,
Amazing. So yeah, did you what use cases did you try, or I don't know if you have anything to show uh, today?
Oh, for me, I was just I built I just built like very basic, I guess, search tools, mostly for sports, to be honest. I'm not even a sports person. That's why I'm using it to do sports searches.
you want to become a sports fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my partner's a sports fan. I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta understand hockey as much as I can. But yeah, like what you just showed us is very advanced, and I would love to learn more about how you did that. I
For
think
sure. We'll
yeah.
write something up, but I
Yeah.
think the beautiful part is like it's a YAML file and a
Mhm.
tiny bit of code. There's no dependencies on anything other than
Yeah.
Groq and Toolhouse, right? So,
I'm
Yeah.
going to reshare it again because like when you look at what I did specifically for this, and here's the email in a better format so you can see it.
nice.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
you don't have to see it necessarily from my phone, but
I
you
can
see.
imagine so many things you can do with this. Like, for example, if I wanted to learn about NHL and Stanley Cup and like the Oilers, I could have this like come up with a new research topic every day and send me like a daily email about something different about Stanley Cup. So then that becomes almost like a daily Anki practice tool, right? Like it would
Yeah.
teach me every day something small,
Yep.
but it would probably take me like 3 minutes to read. So otherwise I have to like think about learning something, right? So I
Yeah.
can use this to learn all kinds of things, like from
My my
YouTube.
Exactly.
dream workflow is do some sort of deep research on like meme coins, and
Yeah.
then have like some code being executed on the Groq Compound
Mhm.
model, and then automatically purchase meme coins automatically. So I can set it like hey, here's $20 a week that you can take from this like wallet, go and make me money. And so then I can just go to sleep and then wake up in 2 weeks and maybe I have $2 million in my bank account, right?
You like to live dangerously.
I start with $20. It's like the price of 2 coffees in San Francisco. So
one coffee. In San Francisco.
sorry, 1 coffee if you go to the nice place in Palo Alto.
But yeah, exactly. So to your point, Ian. So what we did was very simple, and I did this before this live stream. So what I did was I vibe coded the entire thing. So the first thing I did was to really start with the compound search, and as you can see, the prompt is not refined. Absolutely. I just used compound beta, and I just said return a brief summary of recent announcement from the company mentioned by the user.
And then you put your Groq API key into the secrets. That's
right.
Also important.
Yeah. And then your search query should be related to product announcements. Otherwise, if I didn't specify this sentence here, the agent will be tricked into just making a generic search for the company name.
Yeah.
So that was my only trick. Then I did a th run just like I did it before. Let me show everybody again. So I really run th run compound search.yaml. I see that all the parameters are right. Let's take a look. Perfect. That's what I want. That's the right format, and I'm sure this is going to work for other companies as well. Then the second bit was to go and create the roundup agent. So I literally copy pasted this output as the grounds for the automated for the test message, basically. So they copy paste here, then indented it because YAML loves that. Done. And then I started with the system prompt. You're a brilliant tech reporter, so you will create a newsletter about tech announcements. And then do this. Provide step-by-step instructions, 3 step-by-step instructions. So the first one is read the news provided by the user carefully, which is the content I just pasted into this YAML file. The second is compile an engaging tech roundup newsletter. And then 3, send it to me. Make sure to format the email nicely in HTML. And then I give the model an out just in case. I told it, hey, only send 1 email. If you sent it already, if you use the send email tool once, do not use it anymore. Just finish.
And you're using a different model for this the roundup agent, right? You're using the Quen model, I think I saw.
There you go. And I'm impressed. There was actually this week I met with another Groq engineer who just started like I think a couple months ago, and we were talking, and he told me like you should definitely try Quen. Quen is pretty good for like things like function calling and languages. And so I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And so today I wanted to give it a go, and yep, it worked. Nice. So that's the second part. When we this will basically then summarize this information and create a nicely formatted HTML, which is the one we just saw. Nice. The third one was to just go to Groq, and basically I went to just the playground, which is my favorite byte coding tool, and I just added something like create a script, a JavaScript script that calls the search agent 5 times, the search agent 5 times at this URL. And then I basically gave it a curl next pause, dash pause, and then message the user message.
Yeah.
The user message will be a company. Do this for 5 companies.
Nice.
Like this. When done, the agent will respond with plain text. For each successful response, get the content of the response and merge it all together.
Very nice. And what model did you use on Groq Playground? Did you use Llama or
Llama 4? Yes. Let me show you. what I'm using. Llama. This is Scout, like by default. Yeah, Scout.
Yeah.
Even just Scout works pretty well. So see, it's basically giving me exactly the code
Yeah.
that I have. And then obviously I went on and said, when done, feed this request into a final agent. This is
Yes.
the URL. I basically got this code here.
That's right. Vibe coded.
Yeah.
You don't even need cursor. You just need Groq playground.
Yep. Super simple. I just love this approach because it's also like cheaper than cursor, to be honest.
But you can use, funnily enough, you can use the Groq models inside of cursor, right? So
Yep.
you don't even have to go to the console. Once you set it up inside your favorite editor, you can just write the same prompt and Groq's models, whether it's Gwen, Llama, or something else, will just write the code for you. So
exactly.
Vibe coders, rejoice.
Yeah.
The speed is here.
Exactly. And speed, like we are basically parallelizing this very fast requests already. So we're doing like we're using promise all settle, which means just run all this request in parallel, give me the one, give them all, and then I'll check if they're fulfilled or not. Do not fail. If one failed, don't you worry. And so we're just like outputting all the outputs that returned, which in this case were all of them, as you may expect, obviously, into the output, and then showing the output just for shows, and then giving the output back to the new roundup agent, this one. So another post, and the roundup agent does everything. I send it, like preparing the email, summarizing the information, then sending it to me. So that's basically what happens behind the scenes. This is our framework. It's like with comments and console log is 67 lines of code.
Nice.
Super simple.
And you can just do this with anything, right? Like you can, if you have access to many other MCPs, it can just be accessing what's happening on Slack, like send an email to summarize Slack from the last week, right? You can do a lot of things with the MCPs that you have in your collection.
Exactly. There's so much you can do. And I think the fundamental here is that when you have an API that does everything for you and even streams back to you nicely. In this case, we're not streaming because it's not necessarily needed. This is something that could run in the background, so we don't care much about perceived latency of the result. If I run this like first thing in the morning at 5 a.m., then by the time I wake up, I have the most updated information. That's the kind of use case. But this API does stream the result already. So if I actually feed it to the browser, you're probably going to be able to see that. And I probably just can do like a search here. So if I do a curl for this one, you're going to see how it streams the response back. And it's super simple. Like we wanted to make it as simple as possible. See, it's streaming. It's kind of you kind of don't see the streaming. You see like chunks of text because it's so fast.
You can actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said I would just wanted to point out how you can just curl the URL for the API. Like I don't know if anyone realizes how powerful that is. And that's not something you can do with most other execution tools.
Yeah.
And so it's so powerful that you can both inspect how they work, and then you can like compose and decompose them in ways that you can like understand how each part works and then put them together. Like that makes the developer experience so powerful.
Yeah, and let's not forget, like those conversations are also stateful. So we also return a run ID for each one of those. So if we wanted to continue or just get some more information out of a specific conversation, we can still do it.
Yeah. So for example, in this one here, you can get the run ID and then you can say, tell me more about the partnership, and keep it pretty relaxed. Right. Like, and so then he will know from the context that the partnership with Johnny Ive is the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, actually, let's try that. How about that? So I'll show you the stateful part here.
So you get the headers. There's a specific header, which is basically the identifier of the conversation that you just started. So you can continue it.
There's a next Toolhouse run ID. There you go. This one that allows you to continue the conversation. Nice. So now I'm just going to do the same curl, but in a put fashion, and then just append the run ID to the URL. Nice. Let me hide this. Let me hide this. Done. And then you just add a message here. So message. What do you want to ask, Orlando?
Who is the partnership with? Tell me more about it.
And then I'm sure Compound is probably going to make another search for that. But we'll see. So there you go. So there's a bunch more information. And then again, because it's state, we hold all this information for you for future reference. So if we go back in the browser and you get the agent and the run ID,
Wow.
you can see all the past conversation in JSON. That's useful in case you want to build a nice streamlined interface, or you want to just do evals on this. You just grab this. Now, because the agent is public, we're not requiring an API key or an authentication method there. But if with Toolhouse Pro, you can make this conversation private, which means that you will need to provide an API key, and this data will not be public. So that's basically how it works. And then, of course, we can start another conversation. So this is the same agent from before, but we can say do this for I don't know, another company. So again, message here will be, I don't know, let's do Microsoft. Or could be like an old ancient company like IBM. I don't know, but there you go. And so this is basically we're now using the same agent but with a different company name. So there's a ton of flexibility, and it's just as simple as this kind of curl command.
That's incredible. And Toolhouse supports RAG, right? I haven't actually used it, but can I save a lot of like all of these outputs into the RAG system that I can then ask questions about?
Yeah, you most definitely can. Like there are use cases where people create agents that gather knowledge, and then they save that into a file. And again, super easy because it's a curl. This could be like,
one of the beauties of the TH CLI is that you can programmatically have an agent run code to install the CLI and then run more things like in a recursive way.
Yeah.
So you can totally do that. Right now, the way the RAG works, you have to append the documents, or rather upload the documents into your RAG folder, your Toolhouse RAG folder. You can have multiple folders. You can have your like sports folder, work folder, recipes folder, and then every agent will access the knowledge inside of one of the folder that you specify.
Yep. So there you go. One thing you could do, and I'll show you how things work. Like you create a RAG folder like thrag Groq info. So thrag create.
Yeah.
You create a new RAG folder. Inside this folder, you can add as many files as you want.
Nice.
And see the CLI tell you, okay, you've done that. Now you need to do two things. The first is to add files into the RAG folder, and then the second is to reference RAG from your own
YAML file, agent file. Yeah.
And so you can do a curl just like the one I just triggered, like this, where you get an agent that gets information. From some API or from some search, just like this one, and then you save it into a file. And then when the file is done, you can do thrag add Groq info output.txt.
Nice.
Just a script. It's just a script.
So it downloads the information, puts it into a text file, and then adds it to the Groq info RAG folder, as long as the Groq info folder exists. So there we go. So now,
perfect. So now we've done this, and I think we can also take a look at what's inside our RAG. I think I have a few. There you go. So I use RAG ls Groq info, and
there you go. You can see the file right there.
And then you can build another agent, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Now you can build an agent that answers anything that is contained into your output text file here. But think about it, because this could be for Shopify products, it could be for developer documentation, it could be for, I don't know, medical information. If you have some like medical papers that you like to have like indexed and you want an agent to answer it. Actually, we've seen a lot of like people build like these like very helpful agents to like answer users' questions, or you go to the gym and you're like, hey, what do I do next? Like, okay, build yourself an agent, vibe code yourself an agent. Maybe you even want to create a really nice user interface, well, guess what? You can do that. Just use the Quen model in Groq and ask it to build you a nice little interface with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then off you go. Deploy it on your favorite hosting provider and go.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think there's so much you can do, and I think at this point it's like you're limited by your creativity, really. I think that's the hardest part, because
the use cases.
Yeah, the use cases. There are infinite use cases. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about, like, how do you figure out what we want to build on Toolhouse?
Ooh, very philosophical. I think it depends on day to day. A lot of things that waste a lot of my time are, like project management tasks, writing things in English. I'm not native English speaker, so it's like, oh, does that sound good?
Mhm.
But with AI, I can just do it. So I can just launch an agent that will read through like all of my tickets on Linear, and then write a blog post about all of the work we've done this week.
Yep.
Right. And then there you go. I don't have to do it myself. Or if I have to send an email, a newsletter to our user base, hey there, everybody watching, then I can just do that agentically, thanks to agentic workflows.
I think you're saying that if I put these together, I'll pretty much put myself out of a job.
That's
if you're very good at orchestration, you might just be on the beach and enjoy time with your partner and everybody else.
Well, thankfully, you don't even have to be that good at orchestration, because when orchestration is just a promise dot all settled, then there you go.
Like 60 lines of code and you're done. 10 lines of agent code.
Yeah, but you see also what AI is creating, like big jobs that were very hard but also high paying are almost like on the line today. For I don't know if it's a good or a very bad thing. Like software engineering, I don't think software engineering is going to vanish all of a sudden, but definitely it has changed. It is not changing. It has already changed. And I think because of that, the expenses for companies are going to go down. Everything is going to go down. With AI, you can really automate parts of your task. As a CEO, like you saw how decluttered hopefully my inbox was. Like I can always now get to inbox 0, and that's because like Toolhouse helped me out with that.
That's a good use case. I need to try that one.
So
using MCP servers and all that.
I'll tell you more. Like we believe in a future, in a vision where like the enterprises of tomorrow will be maybe the laid off engineer that had some maybe cash stash
insights, and some insights,
and starts building very small apps. But because it's going to be a 1 or 2 people kind of operation, they need to go as fast as possible. And a lot of things like marketing, like really distribution, are going to be the ones that are going to be the most expensive and the hardest to reach. So for that part, I don't know if you know this, but at 10:15-ish, there was an email blast about this announcement while we were all joking. That email blast was done with AI, and the content was done with AI as well. So everything is AI in our operation. And I think with over time, we're probably going to open source all these operations out to people, so they can actually build their own small companies by automating pretty much every single aspect that is the most time-consuming part. We're doing it already, and that's why we can be so efficient, can be focused on what's important. We spend 1 hour here having a ton of fun with technology. But the future state of the world is going to be like that. Exactly.
I joke about taking my job, but like I want to be building prototypes and playing with Toolhouse and not writing change logs. Like that is not a thing I want to spend many hours on. I want that to be automated. And I wanted to write blog posts that I'm excited to write, and not just product announcements and like releases. Like that kind of thing needs to exist in the world, but to spend many days writing one, which what it usually does, is like not a good use of time.
Absolutely.
That's what
Definitely change logs is a big one. I like that. We do that. We have a lot of tickets moving left and right, projects being completed on Linear, and we want to tell the world about it. So definitely definitely a good use case
Yeah.
for engineering manager, kind of product managers, et cetera, et cetera.
And in particular, this one announcement has been so smooth for me because I actually could focus on thinking about the testing out the functionality before it went out, and see like with the time, like in 20 minutes, if you in 20 minutes can build the entire like workflow, then the rest is super smooth, and you can do that thanks to the AI. And then Toolhouse helped me with the marketing setup, with the sending the email, with actually sometimes creating the use case itself. Like, I don't know, can you help me out building something? And it builds an agent for me. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. And any last word? Did we impress you a little bit?
No, definitely. I'm like wanting to build so many things, but then I'm like, where do I start? Like, what do I do? Oh, I saw that in your documentation, there's a new feature where you can chat with the documentation, and I've actually been cheating and using that instead of using the actual docs, and it works really well. Could you
I think
tell
we
us
have
a bit more about that?
Yeah, we have like a few minutes, so we can also build on Toolhouse, by the way. So
the idea there was like kind of like we were talking about before. Like if you have an agent that can do a task for you, it's nice to give it a nice front end, a UI that a user can interact with. And we've seen that more and more people are using, like Toolhouse to basically build the back end, and then they need a front end. And so Daniele came up with this idea for the help agent for Toolhouse. So if you go to like help.toolhouse.ai, you can basically try it right there. You go. We already have the link from previous streams. I was showing it actually yesterday how we built it, and anyone can build this. And
we actually also open sourced it. Like, again, we put our money where our mouth is.
Nice.
And so if you go on the GitHub, the Toolhouse community GitHub, you will find this exact project that shows you how to create stateful chat with your docs or chat with your internal knowledge base kind of documentation. So here, obviously, this is up to date. So I'm going to ask it, can I bring my models to Toolhouse? And this is going to look into RAG. And there you go. Yes. Looks like
amazing.
again. Yes. Nice. Mentions Groq. Amazing. What Groq models does Toolhouse
support?
Toolhouse support. And there you go. This is the list.
That's great.
There you go.
So
thanks to the power of RAG.
And the other thing is, as you know, this like the address here has been filled with an ID of this conversation. So if somebody needs help, I can actually ask the question for them and then share it.
Yeah,
it's a nice share button here. So I'm going to just like put it in our chat here, and let's see who's the first to open it. And because those agents are stateful, then you'll have the ability to, there you go. You have the ability to just like look at the exact same conversation I just had. And so if you open it, I don't know if you want to open it from your laptop. I don't know.
You can try it later. It's fine.
Orlando, yeah. Just to show that the trick is real. It's not just a trick.
It's not a trick. It's real. Let me see. Copy paste. Open link in browser. Loading conversation. There's the conversation. Let me share my screen. Share. And I think it's this one. Yes. Can you see it?
Yes.
I can see it. There you go. Yeah.
Great.
That's my screen. Yeah. Cool. So
this is basically all we showed today. We by the way, this is using a custom model, so it's not the stock model that we give by default.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And the reason why we wanted to do that was because we wanted a longer context for people, so to ask longer questions, to have like code snippets, and because this model is grounded on Toolhouse knowledge, you can actually do pretty amazing stuff. Like I asked the help system. I think I have it here. Like, it's one of my favorite conversations actually. I saved it as a bookmark for the good it was.
Wow.
Split RAG like PDFs. There you go. So I started asking how to set up RAG in Toolhouse, give me the CLI commands, the same we just showed before. He prepared me the YAML file for the agent, run and deploy. What's the maximum file size? It's like 10 megabyte per file. And then I was like, can you show me how to split things in chunks if I have larger files? I have a 100 megabyte file. How do I split it? And this is the Python code for that. And then he told me, okay, with each one of the chunks, just do this. And then if your file is a PDF, you might need a specialized tool. Would you like me to help with that? Absolutely. And he told me, just do this. This is how you split 4 pages. And then once done, you can still upload the PDF like that. I was impressed. And again, then I asked what files are supported, and I got all the list of files from RAG. So fantastic.
That's so cool.
Yep.
I'm so excited for it. I think there's so much you can do. And there's so much you can just ask that tool to do for you, to be honest. Like, I don't have to do it myself. Like, there's so much opportunity here.
Yeah, can't wait. Like, obviously we have a lot more coming up. So I kind of biting my tongue because I'm so eager to show everybody what we're working on. But soon we're going to enhance the capabilities of each agent towards this direction. And obviously we're always on the look to expand and extend the capabilities of our agents. But more importantly, we want to make it simple for everybody to just have more freedom, have more choice, bring their own tools, bring their own models, bring their creativity. Because the hardest part is really, like you actually mentioned, the hardest part of building an agent is really figuring out how to what to do it. Like what the creativity is the limit here. So once you know what to do, then most of the hard part is going to become all about getting the right data and prompting it right. And that's going to be our job. Our future job is not really coding a nice interface. You can vibe code it already. You have amazing front end frameworks that can do that for you as well. But not really figuring out how to really ground an agent and make it work reliably, that's the next challenge. And so I'm so excited to see what we can come up with not far from here. So, and I already teased it enough, so I'm under NDA with my own company, so I can't reveal more. But see the general counsel of Toolhouse and CFO and CTO. So I can say more, but all I can say is stay tuned and we'll reveal more in due time. But for now, that's all we had for today. So Jan, thank you for joining. Thank you for the continued partnership with Groq. We really love partnering with you all, and thanks for all the feedback. Thanks for helping us make this functionality top notch for not just for all the Groq users who want to use Toolhouse now with Groq, but for everybody. I hope more users will come to Toolhouse and discover Groq and build their apps, their production apps there.
And if you are in Austin or you're attending the Bolt Hackathon and you're in Austin, come to the Bolt Hackathon get together. We're going to build agents. We're going to use Groq. We're going to build on top of Toolhouse, on top of Bolt. We're going to use all of these tools to build amazing things. So we have a front end, a back end, and an inference delivery. So we can build amazing things. So,
the Holy Trinity.
The Trinity. We got it all. Okay. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jan. Nice meeting you. Thank you, Daniele. See you later, everybody.
Yeah,
Take care.
Bye, everyone.